Hey guys, Gavin here. So with the latest release of the POCO F2 Pro by Xiaomi, is it going to be another value champion like its predecessor, the POCO F1? This is the review of the POCO F2 Pro.
The POCO F2 Pro is just a rebranded Redmi K30 Pro. However, despite it having the same grey and purple as the Redmi K30 Pro Zoom Edition, the internals are actually just the same as the normal Redmi K30 Pro, so you do not get the extra value that you thought you might be getting just because you chose the same colors as the Zoom Edition. Now with that out of the way, let's begin the unboxing. Out of the box, there's a SIM ejector tool, some papers and a standard clear TPU case with a textured finish to give it some grip. Here we have the phone. Let's set it aside first. And last but not least, a 30-watt power brick with a USB-C cable. Now let's take a look at the phone. So at the top, you have your 3.5mm headphone jack, an IR blaster, and a pop-up selfie camera. On the side, you have the volume rocker and a power button with a red accent, which is a nice touch. At the bottom, we have the monofying speaker, a USB-C port, and a SIM card tray. So, the POCO F2 Pro features a 6.67-inch AMOLED screen with a 20:9 aspect ratio, which supports HDR10 Plus content. However, it doesn't get very bright as it only features 500 nits of screen brightness, but for day-to-day users, it gets the job done. I've never been in a situation before where I found it not bright enough, even in the sunniest days of Singapore. It also features an under-display optical fingerprint scanner, which I know is very common nowadays in many flagships, but I still just can't help myself but be amazed at how technology has advanced over the years. You might have noticed that there's no notch or water drop cutout. Well, this is because of the POCO F2 Pro's pop-out selfie camera. This means it gives you a more unobstructed and a more bezel-less display. This type of pop-out camera has a trade-off though. It means that it does have another moving part in the phone, which makes it not only less water resistant, and it also is more prone to mechanical failure. Speaking of cameras, the pop-out selfie camera is a 30-megapixel shooter, and at the back we have the Oreo camera setup, reminiscent of the OnePlus 7T, and this setup houses a 64-megapixel main shooter, a 30-megapixel ultra-wide, a 2-megapixel depth sensor, and a 5-megapixel macro lens. Macro lens hasn't been a thing due to the poor quality in recent phones, but quite surprisingly, the POCO F2 Pro might just be the difference maker. Let me show you what I mean. So here we have the photo of the box in the background with the macro lens. You can see the details and the grooves in the box that is being captured by the POCO F2. This is what I mean by POCO F2 taking a step up using the macro lens, improving it, allowing us to capture more detail within a closer range. And here we have the 64 megapixel main camera. Nothing much to be said, photos are crisp. Last but not least, we have the ultra wide camera. It's a decent shot, but not the best that we've seen. Definitely there'll be better, because POCO didn't pride themselves in making the best camera phone. So if you were to be looking for an excellent photography camera based phone, the POCO F2 isn't for you. But if you're looking for an all-rounder phone with an affordable price tag and the best chipset, do keep on watching. And here we have some night mode shots using the stock camera app. From here, we could tell that the POCO F2 excels in taking shots in more urban and more city environment where there is still light present, as compared to this image right here where it's totally unusable. And its internals, out of the box, it runs Android 10 with MIUI 11 and the POCO Launcher 2.0. Personally, it's not my favorite as the controls and the functions aren't very intuitive, so that might be a slight learning curve for its features to be maximized to its fullest potential. However, it contains a hefty 4700 mAh battery, which paired with the UI allows me to get through a day comfortably without worrying too much on how much battery is left. Personally, I feel that the UI could be more optimized similar to that of Oxygen OS. So with a phone like this, which packs so much hardware, or keeping prices lower than its Snapdragon 865 competitors, where did they cut back on? Firstly, they cut back on the display. This display is only 60Hz. As compared to the competitors, they have 90Hz, 120Hz, even 144Hz. Well, maybe 90Hz would have been nice to see on this, but personally I feel that 60Hz is good enough because as a day-to-day user, battery life is more important as compared to the illusion of smoothness that 90Hz and above provides. The POCO F2 Pro lacks wireless charging, which is a common feature in many flagships of 2020, and it also lacks IP68 rating. So the last two features that the POCO F2 Pro lacks is the OIS on all cameras, and it only has a bottom firing speaker as compared to other phones which provide a dual stereo speakers. But overall, as a package, with this price range, I'm satisfied because POCO has still managed to keep within their theme of budget-friendly phones with flagship chipsets. So with that, I'll catch you in the next one.